Welcome to Stories Junction. Let's begin today's story. I was supposed to be getting married in 7 months. Emma and I had been together for nearly 4 years, engaged for one. She was everything I thought I wanted, brilliant, stunning, with a laugh that could turn a bad day around. We had built a life together, carefully stacking every piece of our future like a house of cards. The venue was booked, invitations printed, and the countdown had begun. And then Miami happened. Emma and her closest friends planned a trip to Miami, just a little last celebration before she became a married woman. Or at least, that's what she told me. I didn't think much of it. I trusted her. I trusted us. She left early Friday morning, beaming with excitement. At the airport, I hugged her tightly, joking about how she should avoid the beach bars where she'd spend all our wedding savings on overpriced cocktails. She laughed, promised to call me when she landed, and kissed me goodbye. I didn't know it then, but that would be one of our last moments of real affection. The first day she was gone, everything seemed normal. She texted me around noon, saying she had landed safely and that they were heading to some fancy restaurant for dinner. I told her to have fun and to send me pictures if she remembered. She sent me one. Her and the girls smiling with drinks in their hands, a bright Miami sunset behind them. I smiled at my phone, reassured. But by the second day, something shifted. Her replies became infrequent. Hours passed between my messages and her responses, and when she did text back, it was short, vague. Having fun? Beaching all day. Talk soon. That night, I called her. No answer. No text back. That's when the uneasy feelings started to settle in my gut. Then, on Sunday morning, I got a call from my friend Mark. We hadn't spoken in a couple of weeks, so I was surprised to see his name pop up. But the second I picked up, I could tell something was wrong. His voice was tense, hesitant. "Jake," he said, his tone careful. "I don't know how to say this, but I saw Emma last night." I frowned, shifting in my seat. "What? What are you talking about? That's impossible. Emma's in Miami right now." Mark exhaled sharply. "Yeah, I know. I'm in Miami too. I came for a buddy's bachelor party." He paused, like he didn't want to say the next part. "I saw her, Jake. But she wasn't alone." A cold, creeping feeling spread through my chest. "What do you mean?" "She was at a club on Ocean Drive. With some guy. And not just standing next to him." He hesitated. "They were all over each other, man. Holding hands. Kissing." I gripped my phone so tightly my knuckles turned white. "You're sure?" "You're absolutely sure it was her?" "Jake," Mark said firmly. "I know what your fiancée looks like. It was her." I went silent, my mind racing, trying to make sense of what I just heard. "Listen," Mark continued. "If you don't believe me, I'll follow her. I'll take pictures." I swallowed hard, my throat dry. A part of me didn't want proof. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. But I also knew I needed the truth. "Do it," I said, my voice hollow. Mark asked which hotel she was staying at, and we ended the call. My stomach twisted into knots as I stared blankly at the wall. Less than an hour later, Mark called again. This time, his voice was even lower, almost a whisper. "I just spotted her at the hotel pool," he said. "She's with the same guy. I'll send the photos now." Seconds later, my phone buzzed. Mark had sent me a series of pictures. I opened them, and then my world shattered. There she was, Emma, lounging beside some guy, laughing, her hands all over him. In another picture, she was leaning in, whispering into his ear. And then the last one, they were kissing. I felt my heart crack open, a flood of numbness, anger, and disbelief crashing through me all at once. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't some innocent moment. This was betrayal. And the worst part? I wasn't even surprised. I had ignored the signs before, brushed off the small inconsistencies. The way she sometimes pulled away when I reached for her hand. The way she'd get defensive when I asked too many questions about her nights out with friends. I had convinced myself that I was overthinking, that she loved me, that we were solid. But now I had the proof staring me in the face. I spent that night staring at those photos, unable to sleep, unable to think about anything else. Hours passed in a blur of rage, pain, and quiet devastation. And then, sometime around dawn, I made a decision. I was going to end this, and I was going to make sure she never forgot it. By the time the sun rose, my decision was final. I was done. There was no coming back from this. No explanation, no apology, no drunken excuse would ever erase the image of Emma in another man's arms. I wasn't going to confront her and give her the chance to lie to my face. Instead, I was going to end things on my terms. I grabbed my phone, took a deep breath, and started making calls. First, I called the wedding venue. "Hi, I need to cancel my booking for June 15th. The woman on the other end sounded surprised. "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. May I ask the reason?" I clenched my jaw. "The wedding isn't happening anymore." Silence. Then a sympathetic response about the deposit being non-refundable. I didn't care. Money was the least of my concerns. Next, I called the caterers. Canceled. The photographer. Canceled. The church. Canceled. Each call felt like another knife twisting in my chest, but at the same time, there was something freeing about it. I wasn't just canceling a wedding. I was reclaiming my life from the lie I had been living. After I handled all the wedding logistics, I called my family. "Mom," I said, my voice eerily calm, "I need to tell you something. The wedding is off." "What?" she gasped. "Jake, what happened?" "She cheated on me." Silence. Then a sharp inhale. "Oh, honey," her voice cracked. "I'm so sorry." "I know." Then came the tears. My mom sobbed into the phone, heartbroken for me. My dad took the phone next, his voice steady. "You're doing the right thing, son. We're proud of you." One by one, I informed my brothers, my cousins, my close friends. I wanted the truth to spread before Emma had the chance to twist the story. By the time I was done, it felt like a weight had lifted. But there was still one more thing left to do. I needed to erase her from my home. I called a locksmith. Within the hour, the locks were changed. Emma's keys were now useless. Then I started packing up everything she had ever left in my house. Her clothes, her shoes, her hair products in the bathroom, the framed photos of us smiling, lying to the world about the kind of love we had. Box after box, I stripped every trace of her from my home. But there was one box that was different. I printed out the photos Mark had sent me, the undeniable proof of her betrayal. I placed them right on top of her things, making sure they would be the first thing she saw when she opened it. Then I sealed the box and wrote in bold letters across the top, "Open me." It was late afternoon when I finished. The house felt empty now, not in a sad way, in a way that told me I had done the right thing. Emma was coming back from Miami the next evening. I had no intention of being here when she arrived. But before I left, I needed to see something first. I moved all of her boxes onto the front yard, placing the Open Me box at the front where she couldn't miss it. Then I grabbed my bags and left. I drove a few blocks away, parked my car, and rented a different one for the day, one she wouldn't recognize. Then I settled into a spot across the street, far enough to avoid being noticed but close enough to witness what I had been waiting for. Not long after, my phone buzzed. "Emma asterisk, hey baby, just landed. Taking a taxi home now. Can't wait to see you." I smirked. She had no idea. Me asterisk, okay. See you soon. And then I waited. 15 minutes later, a yellow taxi pulled up in front of my house. Emma stepped out, dragging her suitcase behind her. She was smiling, relaxed from her weekend, completely unaware that her world was about to come crashing down. Then she saw the boxes. From my car, I watched her freeze. Even from a distance, I could see the panic set in. She hesitated, glancing around as if hoping this was some kind of mistake. Then she dropped her suitcase and ran to the front door. She fumbled with her keys. Try the lock once. Again. Again. It didn't budge. She banged on the door, her voice rising in frustration. "Jake! Jake, open the door!" Silence. She turned back to the yard, her breathing quick and unsteady. That's when she spotted it, the Open Me box. Slowly, she stepped forward, bent down, and ripped the tape off. She reached inside, pulled out the photos, and then I saw it. The exact moment she realized her secret was out. Her hands trembled as she flipped through the pictures, her face draining of color. Then, like a dam breaking, her whole body shook with silent sobs. She fell to her knees in the grass, clutching the evidence of her own betrayal, her entire world crumbling around her. I sat back in my seat and watched. Watched as she broke down. Watched as the reality of what she had done finally caught up to her. I had seen enough. Without another glance, I started the car, drove off to pick up my real one, and left town. That night, in a hotel far away from where she could find me, my phone lit up with notifications. 42 missed calls. Countless texts. Emma asterisk, Jake, please talk to me. Emma asterisk, it's not what you think. I swear. Emma asterisk, I love you. Please don't do this. Emma asterisk, Jake, pick up. Please. I didn't reply. She wasn't my problem anymore. But I wasn't done yet. Now it was time for step 2. I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly why our wedding was canceled. The next morning, I woke up in my hotel room feeling lighter than I had in days. The weight of Emma's betrayal was still there, but it no longer crushed me. It fueled me. I wasn't just going to walk away silently. I was going to make sure everyone knew exactly why this wedding was over. I picked up my phone, scrolled through Emma's desperate messages, and ignored them. Then, I opened my gallery and stared at the incriminating photos of her wrapped around another man in Miami. The proof. The cold, undeniable truth. I forwarded them. To her parents. To her siblings. To every single one of our mutual friends. To the bridal party, the groomsmen, and every person who was supposed to attend our wedding. Along with the photos, I attached a short, brutal message. Emma cheated on me in Miami. That's why the wedding is off. This is who she really is. Within seconds, my phone blew up. Shock. Outrage. Disbelief. Her mother asterisk, Jake, please tell me this isn't real. Please tell me there's an explanation. Asterisk. Her father asterisk, I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry, son. Asterisk. My best man, Connor asterisk, what the actual hell, bro? I can't believe this. We got your back. Asterisk. Her maid of honor, Olivia asterisk, Jake, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. This is disgusting. Asterisk. And then minutes later, my phone started ringing. Emma. Again. I let it ring. Then came the voice messages. Jake, please don't do this. We need to talk. It wasn't what it looked like. I was drunk, I made a mistake, but it didn't mean anything. Please call me. I love you. I deleted them all. For the next few hours, I watched as the truth spread like wildfire. Friends turned on her. People who had once adored her were now disgusted. Even her own family was ashamed. Emma wasn't the victim anymore. I didn't feel bad. She had made her choice. Now, she had to live with it. That evening, I got a call from Mark, the same friend who had spotted her in Miami. Bro, he said, a mix of amusement and disbelief in his voice. She's losing her mind. I smirked. I figured, she's calling everyone, trying to spin the story, saying it wasn't what it looked like, that you're overreacting, that she was just drunk. I laughed bitterly. Yeah, because being drunk magically erases infidelity, right? Mark scoffed. Exactly. No one's buying it, though. She played herself. Good, I muttered. He hesitated. You holding up okay? Better than I expected, I admitted. Honestly, I think I dodged a bullet. Mark chuckled. Damn right you did. We talked for a while before hanging up. Afterward, I sat in silence, staring out the hotel window, watching the city lights flicker. I had done everything I needed to do. The wedding was canceled. The truth was out. Emma was exposed. And now it was time to move on, or at least try. The days following the fallout felt surreal, like I was living in someone else's life. One moment, I was planning my wedding, counting down the days until I married the woman I thought was my soulmate. The next, I was wiping her existence from my life like she had never been there at all. I expected to feel empty. I expected grief. But all I felt was a strange kind of weightlessness, like a heavy burden had been lifted off my shoulders. Emma, on the other hand, wasn't handling it nearly as well. At first, she didn't stop calling. Message after message, voicemail after voicemail, each one more desperate than the last. Asterisk, Jake, please, let's just talk. I swear it wasn't what it looked like. Asterisk, I was drunk. I made a mistake. Please don't throw everything away over one stupid night. Asterisk, Jake, I love you. I love you so much. Just please don't do this. Asterisk, I didn't answer. I didn't even listen to half the voicemails. There was nothing left to say. But while she couldn't get to me, she sure as hell tried to get to everyone around me. She called my mom. She called my sister. She even reached out to my best friend, Logan, trying to get him to talk some sense into me. She's losing her mind, man. Logan told me when we grabbed drinks a few nights after everything went down. Crying, begging, saying you're being unfair. Unfair. I scoffed, swirling the whiskey in my glass. She cheated on me, Logan, at her bachelorette party, and I'm being unfair? Logan shook his head. That's what I told her. But, she's not thinking straight. She's panicking. Good, I muttered. Logan sighed. Her dad called me too. That got my attention. Her dad? Yeah. Apparently, she's staying with him now. She won't leave her room, won't eat, won't stop crying. He said it's like she's completely fallen apart. I exhaled slowly. That complicated things, because for all the anger and betrayal burning inside me, I wasn't happy she was suffering. But at the same time, I couldn't bring myself to care. She had made her choices. Now, she had to live with them. I didn't go back to my house right away. Instead, I stayed at a hotel for a few more days, just to be sure Emma wouldn't show up looking for me. I wasn't in the mood for a confrontation. I needed space. During that time, I slowly started rebuilding. I went to the gym more. I reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in a while. I even went out one night, just a casual thing, drinks with some coworkers. I wasn't trying to meet anyone new, but for the first time in a long time, I felt like me again. Then, one evening, as I was packing up my things to check out of the hotel, my phone rang. It wasn't Emma. It was her father. I hesitated before answering. Hello, Jake. His voice was heavy, tired. Son, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. I let out a slow breath. I didn't know what to say to that. I don't know what to tell you, he continued. I raised her better than this. I swear I did. I know this isn't your fault, I said, because it wasn't. There was a long silence. Then, she's a mess. She won't stop crying. She lost a lot of friends. Her mother won't even look at her right now. I didn't know how to feel about that. A part of me felt a little satisfied. Another part just felt tired. Jake, he said, his voice softer now. Is there any chance you could forgive her? I leaned back against the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling. Forgiving her doesn't change what she did. I know, he admitted. But maybe you could talk to her? I exhaled sharply. I don't think that's a good idea. Another silence. Then he sighed. I understand. But if you ever change your mind, just know she's sorry. I didn't answer, because sorry didn't matter. The next morning, I checked out of the hotel and finally went back to my house. It felt different. There was an emptiness to it now, a hollow space where Emma's presence used to be. Her things were gone, the air was quieter, and yet, for the first time in a long time, I didn't mind. I didn't feel a crushing sense of loss. I didn't feel like I had made some horrible mistake. Instead, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Peace. I was free. And for the first time since this whole mess started, I was okay with that. The morning I officially moved on was quiet. No grand epiphanies, no dramatic realizations, just a simple moment where I woke up, stretched, and realized I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no lingering ache where Emma used to be. Just peace. For weeks, I had expected the weight of everything to crash down on me. I braced myself for the inevitable wave of heartbreak, for the sleepless nights filled with regret. But they never came. Maybe it was because the woman I thought I loved, the one I planned a future with, had never actually existed. Maybe it was because Emma had been a dream, an illusion I built in my head. And when the truth shattered that illusion, I had nothing left to hold on to. Whatever the reason, I wasn't drowning in pain. I wasn't lost. I was free. Emma, on the other hand, was still trying to fix the unfixable. It had been a month since Vegas, and while she had stopped calling every day, she still tried to reach out. Occasionally, I'd get a text, always some variation of, Jake, please, can we talk? I never responded. And then, one evening, after weeks of silence, she sent one final message. I know you won't answer, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Truly, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want you to know I'll always love you. I'll always regret losing you. I hope you find happiness again, even if it's not with me. I stared at the text for a long time before finally, without hesitation, I deleted her number. I had no room for her in my life anymore. Time passed, and life slowly returned to normal. I sold the house a few months later. Too many memories, too many ghosts lingering in the corners. The place had once felt like home. Now it was just a reminder of what almost was. I moved into a new apartment, somewhere fresh, somewhere untouched by the past. It wasn't as big, but it was mine, and that was enough. I started dating again. Not seriously at first, just casual outings, coffee dates, the occasional drink. I wasn't looking for anything, but I was open to the idea of someone new. And then, one night, I met her. It wasn't love at first sight. It wasn't some earth-shattering moment where the universe suddenly made sense. It was just a conversation, a laugh, a connection. And for the first time since everything with Emma, I felt something real. I wasn't broken. I wasn't ruined. I wasn't bitter. I was just a guy sitting across from a woman who made him smile. And maybe that was the start of something better. Maybe that was the real happily ever after.